that I am one of His children. But it's good to be here. What I can feel today, what a blessed spirit that's down in me. And I desire your prayers a little while as we try to stand before you with a little thought that God gave me. It's one of those mornings we went all week praying, searching, reading, and asking God what He would have me to bring, and never had anything that came to mind. And on the way to church this morning, I pulled up behind a car at the red light up here at Harrogate to turn down the valley, and I pulled up behind that car, and I was sitting there, and I had a bumper sticker in the back window of the car, and I read that, and it stayed with me, and then God began to speak to me about that. It probably won't be before you very long, just a little thought that I see in this, but I want you to hear this little thought. If I don't preach to you more than 5 minutes, that's all right. But I want you to hear this thought today. There was a little bumper sticker on the back of that car, and I asked a question, and it said, would you follow this close to Jesus? Now, you had to be close to the back of that car to read that bumper sticker. It wasn't real big. But as they pulled out and went down the valley, I began to think about it. That little question on the back of that car, would you follow this close to Jesus? What happens when you follow close to Jesus? I want to read a verse of Scripture you find out of the book of Matthew in the 23rd chapter. A thing that Jesus said that I always felt when Jesus said this that He was very emotional when He said this. He was up on the hillside. He was looking at Jerusalem. And this is just right before the crucifixion. This is right before we led into the things that happened in the crucifixion. We've been studying that on Wednesday night now for about 6 weeks about the people in the crucifixion. And what a blessing that has been. But He made this statement in verse 37. He said, O Jerusalem, Jerusalem, thou that killest the prophets and stonest them which are sent unto thee, how often would I have gathered thy children together, even as a hen gathereth her chickens under her wings, and ye would not. Then I want to read one verse of Scripture. It comes from the book of Matthew, the 9th chapter, as Jesus was beginning His ministry and calling His disciples. Verse 9 out of chapter 9 says, And Jesus passed forth from thence. He saw a man named Matthew sitting at the receipt of custom, and He said unto him, Follow me. And he arose and followed Him. I'm going to stop reading there, if correctly read before you, and you pray a little while. And let's just follow God today. Now, I asked a question there a minute ago about what happens when you are near to Jesus. It is a different world when you are close to Jesus. It's a different place. It's a different life. It's a different way of living when you are close to Jesus. There's a different attitude. There's a different smile. There's a different peace. He said, I give a peace not as the world giveth. There's a peace that the world tries to offer that is temporary, that's not real. But what Jesus has is something that is real and everlasting. I thought about, as I was sitting on the bench, when God brought this thought to me, I thought about an umbrella. Now, Carrie and I, we carry one in the car, and we used to have one that was a big umbrella. It was big enough for 2 people. And when it was raining, I would go around, I'd get the umbrella, and I'd go around to her car door, and she'd open the door and get out under that. And as we walked with that umbrella, it was a big one, but there was something that was required for both of us to be under it. She would have to put her arm in mine and hold close by my side. As long as she did that, I was holding the umbrella was over me. But as long as she would hold my arm, the umbrella covered her too. That umbrella was designed to keep the rain off. It was designed to keep us dry. You know what its purpose is. You've all used one. But in order for it to work, you've got to be under it. An umbrella doesn't do you any good. I've been in parking lots before and get out of my truck and go running to go in a building, and they might be somebody walking across the parking lot with an umbrella. You know what? It didn't do me not one bit of good because I was not under it. If Jesus is going to do you any good, you've got to get under the umbrella this morning. I thought as he stood up there, and I always said, when I read this scripture, I always felt that Jesus was heartbroken, that he was emotional, that he was his heart was broken as he looked out over Jerusalem and said, "Oh, Jerusalem, Jerusalem, how oft I would have gathered you together." Jesus desired to do something wonderful in their lives. He desired to do something that was a great blessing to them. He desired, you pray just a little while, he desired to just reach out and put his arms around those people and be a difference in their life today. God still feels the same today. When he looks down to Underwood Grove, when he looks down to this world today, I can still hear the emotion in his voice. He still wants to do the same thing, to gather us together. It talks about the hen and the chicks. We're all country people here, so this is familiar to me and you. We understand what it means. There was protection under that mother hen. There was safety under the mother hen. There was something they could trust in when they got under there. Them little chicks were not able to take care of themselves, and they were in danger. But when old mother hen would fluff them wings out, it gave them a place to run to. It gave them a place of safety. It gave them a place of confidence, a place of joy. In a troubled world, it was a place they could run to. I'm here to tell you today, Jesus is a place of safety. He's a place you can come to. If your life is troubled, if you're torn apart, you can come to Jesus today. There's safety in Jesus. There's peace in Jesus. That umbrella will keep you dry today. With her, I could take that umbrella and take her out of the car and go into wherever we was going. When we get there, we would be completely dry, but we needed an umbrella to do that. You know what? We keep one in our car all the time. There's always an umbrella in the car. And when the sun's shining, we don't never get it out. If we pulled up somewhere and the sun's shining like it is today, I wouldn't bother to get it out of the trunk. Did you know an umbrella will do more than keep you from getting wet? Did you know it can be used to block the wind off? Did you know on a really hot day when it's up there 100 degrees, you can take an umbrella and it'll keep the sun off of you. It'll keep you cool. I've got news for you people. Jesus is for more than a rainy day. He's for more than just when the rain's coming and falling down. Jesus, I want to follow him right up on his bumper every day of my life. I want to follow Jesus today. I want him to accuse me of tailgating. I want to be near to him. And we need to be ready to move. We are fearful of a lot of things. And I think about Matthew when Jesus walked through there. I believe Matthew had some experience with Jesus before this moment. I don't know if he heard him preach. I don't know if he saw him do something. But I'll tell you what, when Jesus came by and looked at Matthew and said, "Follow me," Matthew didn't ask, "Where are we going?" Matthew didn't say, "What are we going to do?" When Jesus looked at him and said, "Follow me," it says that Matthew got up and went and followed him. He was tailgating. Jesus was leading him somewhere. Jesus will lead you. What did he say? He'll lead us to a green pasture. He'll lead us to still waters. He'll lead you to the place in your life that you can have joy, that things can work for you, that things will be good for you. Jesus will lead you to those places. It didn't say he was going to drive you. It said he was going to lead you. To lead somebody, they must follow. Today, your life may be troubled. And the storm clouds, me and Carrie go somewhere and it may not be raining. But if we get out of the car, we look at the sky. And if it looks like it's going to rain or it looks like it might rain, Carrie say, get the umbrella. And we carry it with us because we don't know what it's going to do. But we do know if it comes a downpour, we don't want to get wet. I do know that hell's coming and I'm not going today. Today, you need to keep him near because you don't know what's going to happen. When I was talked about in Sunday school this morning, when I look around me, the signs of the time, I know what's coming. We all know what's coming. It's been prophesied for 2,000 years, and it's been maybe to happen at any moment for a long time. But the point of the matter is, are you ready today? Have you got Jesus? Are you holding him? Are you carrying that umbrella? Because Jesus is the only way to get to heaven. And it's going to rain. Noah preached that for a long time. And the world ignored it, made fun of it, mocked it, but one day it began to rain. There was a lot of people who wanted umbrellas that day, but you know what? Umbrellas were not for sale anymore. The umbrellas were gone. They were not for sale anymore. The Bible said that Noah that they went into the ark, and it doesn't say that Noah shut the door. It said that God shut him in. Some of these days there'll be a moment, there'll be a time that it'll be over with, it'll be too late, and the people will cry and scream, but you know what? Prayers will not be answered in that day. Umbrellas won't be for sale anymore, but today, I've got news for you. Umbrellas are still in stock. And there's plenty of them. There's big ones, and there's little ones. There's whatever you need today. Umbrellas are still in stock. And it's being preached, and we're advertising them. We're telling you that the storm's coming, the rain's coming, and you're going to need an umbrella, and I can tell you where to find it. Down here on the altar on your knees today, Jesus will be your umbrella. He will keep your soul. He will save you today. Today there is an umbrella for you. You know, there's been a time or two, I guess I'm getting old. I'm not the big tough man anymore. I keep one in my truck. When I get out of town somewhere, I'm not too ashamed. I'll get the umbrella out way and I'll cover myself. But you know what? There's been a time or two I've took it, be walking in, and somebody else going in, and I'll offer to share with them. I can't share my salvation with you. I can't. Talked about the 10 virgins in the parable in the Bible, and the 5, when the bridegroom come and began to knock, they said, give us of yours, and they said, not so, lest there's not enough for us and you. They said, you have to go buy your own. Today, everybody, the Bible said, work out your own salvation with fear and trembling. And today, I've got my umbrella. I promise you, I'm not worried about it. I guarantee you, I have my umbrella. And today, I love you, and if I could, I would share with you, but I can't. There's just enough room under my umbrella for me. God has saved my soul, and that umbrella keeps me. It keeps the sun off me. It keeps the rain off me. And some of these days, when God says it's had been enough, and He calls His children home, that umbrella will keep me dry till I get home, but it can't help you today. You've got to get your own. And there's a big box of them right here of umbrellas that you can have, and God will save your soul, and you can have your own protection today, because there's something coming. There's a storm coming after a while. But you must follow Jesus. Whatever God asks you to do, whatever direction He turns you in, you've got to follow Jesus. Once you get that umbrella, that is having Jesus in your life. It is the most blessed thing that we can have in this world, is to follow Jesus. I don't even want to imagine my life without Jesus in it. What a joy it is to me. I don't know if all of you feel the same or not, but the opportunity for me to just sit down with the Bible and begin to read the words of Jesus, and to feel what He was feeling, what a joy that is today. To walk with Jesus and talk with Him and have that umbrella in this world of trouble. The wind will never get strong enough to turn it inside out. Had an umbrella back of this wind. I was walking across the driveway from the office to the house, and it was an old umbrella, getting kind of torn up in the wind. Gust of wind caught it and flipped it, turned it inside out. I tell you something, there ain't a storm big enough to do anything to the umbrella I've got. There's not enough devils in hell to tear this umbrella up. There's nothing that can hinder this umbrella. When I hold it over my head and I get right under it. And I'm telling you, like I said a while ago, with me and carrying that umbrella, you've got to link arms with Jesus. If you try to walk with Him at arm's length, your head will be out from under that umbrella. You've got to get up near to Him and follow close. If you want Jesus to make a difference in your daily life and in how you get through this world and how you get along, if you want Him to make a difference, then you've got to get right up under the middle of that umbrella. When you get up under there, you stay dry. What blessings Jerusalem turned down right here. We look at the life of Matthew. He had a good job, was making good money. He followed Jesus, and he wound up being martyred and suffered some in his life, different things that happened to him. You know what? If you could talk to Matthew today, he'd look at you and say, I wouldn't change a thing. He said, I was under the umbrella. He'd say I couldn't imagine my life without Jesus in it. That's what he would have told you. He'd say, I don't want my life without Jesus in it. I was under the umbrella. We try to imagine what our life should be and what direction it should go and what we should do. I'm going to tell you something. What you need to do is just ask Jesus, where do you want me to go? And follow Him. Jesus will never lead you wrong. And He'll never leave you stranded in a rainstorm. That umbrella, do you have it this morning? I'm fixing to come to close. I told you I wouldn't be before you long. This umbrella today, get up real close to Jesus. Get right in the middle of that umbrella. Hold on to Jesus' arms. Come ahead and get you a song, Kendall. Don't miss the blessings in your life that are possible. What Jerusalem turned down and threw away, those people. Everybody stand.